I quit Geometry Dash a long time ago.
Sorry, that was weird. I quit Geometry Dash a long time ago, and I'm sure most of you probably forgot that this channel even exists. Or you remember, but for all the wrong reasons. And I quit the whole channel in a very strange and indirect way, basically giving no feedback for anyone to why I did. So even though I'm 5 years late, I'd like to explain some of the reasons why I abandoned this seemingly promising channel and address some of the, other things. I'm sure that your reaction to me even making a video at all is either confused or outraged, so let me explain myself, why I quit, what things have been like since I quit, and even the possible future. Starting with... So this was pretty obvious. To anyone actually paying attention to my channel, you would have noticed that around the last few months, I shifted my content away from talking about the game and its levels, and talking shit about community figures and content creators who I didn't like. Wow, this wasn't all the content I made, it definitely became a lot more prevalent around these later months. This was due to my growing frustration with the double standards of the community and how I believed I was treated in it. I felt that my videos got a lot more hate than other common videos in the community because there was actually something to digest in my videos. There was something to talk about, even if my points weren't always good, which they weren't. I got a lot of shit for using stuff like text-to-speech, which is now hilariously normalized in TikTok, but let's not talk about that. Or I got shit-talked for my opinions, or whatever it may be. This frustrated me to no end at the time, because I felt like most other figures in the community would just shit out gameplay videos where the only subject was, wow, look at the cool pretty level. And said creators could spam out like 5 videos a day and make a lot more money out of it too. To put it simply, I felt that if there was nothing to talk about, there was nothing to criticize in a video. Granted, this is a problem with YouTube in general, where selling your soul and shitting out multiple videos a day outweighs passion in most situations. I find this especially funny because my Wikipedia page literally says that I started criticizing people for revenue greed. If I wanted revenue greed, I wouldn't make edited videos shit-talking other people, I would just do this. Now, I'm not saying that my videos were good or on some pedestal above everyone else, because they weren't. Let me make that very clear. But what I am saying is that I got tired of a community where there was an obvious answer for brain-dead success and money, and I locked myself into not taking it. After this, there were many situations where I said some very regrettable shit. Mostly just to bait out people in the community, but also just to be an edgy white kid. I won't go into much detail about it, but a lot of the troll videos I made, or blatantly offensive things I said, were mainly just to lash out at a community that I thought hated me, when essentially I was the one with the problem from the start. Even to this day, this is all people seem to remember me for. And at the time, that's what I wanted, but looking back, it really isn't, and this is all my fault. So, think whatever you want about me, but just know, I truly don't mean anything I've said in the past, and I could take it all back if I could. I still do find it funny that people seem to view me as worse than someone like Guitar Hero Styles for what I've done, who's a literal pedophile, but it is the Geometry Dash community, so I'm not surprised. So anyways, enough of that vague shit. I want to keep talking about this dumpster fire. The community in general just doesn't seem to have much to offer, and a lot of the remaining players are just constantly in denial about the state of the game and their enjoyment of it. The moment I left the game, I stopped hearing anything about it anywhere else on the internet, and the player numbers are at an all-time low. When I recently heard that 2.2 still hadn't come out, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a joke. People complain about the lack of updates in other games, but they don't even realize how bad it can actually get. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. The second major reason I quit this channel is Geometry Dash was my addiction when I was in middle school. I played it on my phone almost every day and mostly enjoyed it. It was a true passion of mine, and I always wish that there were more videos on YouTube actually taking a deeper look into analyzing the game and its player-created levels with some editing and production value. And apparently other people think so too, even to this day. So that's where it started, and the rest is history. Like all games, I eventually got burnt out. This is the most common reason for creators to quit, and it was one of mine. But it may not be for exactly the reason you would expect. You see, back before 2016, Geometry Dash, Minecraft, and a few other games was essentially all I would play. It wasn't even a money thing, it was just that no other games really appealed to me that much. Until January 15th, 2017. This was the day I created my Discord server, and I met a lot of people online, some of which I still talk to this day, at least on a weekly basis. Ironically, creating this server essentially started the downfall of my channel, because before then, I essentially interacted with nobody who gave a shit about video games. Meeting these people led me to making my Steam account, which led me to realizing I had seriously been missing out by only playing like 2 games. I eventually wanted to do nothing but play other games on my online free time, instead of editing videos or playing a game I'm not that interested in anymore. Even if 2.2 came out around that time, I still wouldn't have been that interested. It's just the nature of burnout. And furthermore, it seemed like the second I quit, the second the game wasn't a job to me anymore, I stopped playing it. It felt extremely freeing, and even to this day, I pretty much haven't played it at all since. Instead, I realized the actual variety that was possible in the hobby, which is kind of a stupid thing to say, but it got me to actually enjoy it. Which is why I still feel bad for creators who are locked into one game, no matter how much they enjoy it. I even briefly tried branching out at a point, and I made a few cringy videos at the time, but eventually gave up due to the lack of interaction they got, which is totally understandable. I also just wasn't very interested in YouTube anymore. I mostly stopped watching it, and editing seemed like a boring job that I'd rather spend somewhere else. Which leads us to the third main reason I quit.
It's
being
rewind
a YouTuber
time.
fucking sucks. Being a YouTuber may seem appealing at first, and it was for me. I definitely had a bit of fun, but holy shit does it become grating. The constant demonetization for no reason, the comments from people who have never touched editing software, and of course YouTube itself, implementing random policies that can invalidate years of work. I am glad I quit when I look back, a lot of the time. Being a creator and actually earning decent money requires you to essentially be terminally online, or I guess you could hire an editor or something, which costs you even more money. And very few creators get locked into doing something actually fun. Why do you think so many people quit Geometry Dash? Seeing the stats, watching videos you worked hard on get demonetized or not get any views, it sucks. You wonder why spamming out videos is the best thing to do? It's because you put in less effort and stress for more. But enough about that, it's time for the YouTuber apology. I've kept my audience in the dark for years, and I can see why some of them may be fed up with me. Considering what I've done in the past, too. I probably won't make any more content for this channel. Definitely not Geometry Dash content, but you already knew that. The fact that I'm even making this video at all is probably a shock. I just want to apologize for all the irresponsible shit I've done in the past. Even if this is too little, too late. Around that time, I felt like shit, I was diagnosed with depression, but you know, you've heard this story before from other people, I'm sure.
Fuck.
This isn't an excuse, it's just my explanation. I don't want to get too soy here, I'm just explaining myself. I still look back on this channel with fond memories, and considering it was essentially my high school job, I look back on it with much fonder memories than I probably should. Thanks for the ride, and I hope I somehow entertained you. Wesley died, by the way.